Hi everyone, I'm Mufan Li, and today I'd like to introduce the Adorno theory of cultural industry. First of all, I would like to introduce the historical background of cultural production theory. Adorno lived before and after the Second World War and was an important member of Frankfurt School. On the one hand, faces the threat of fascist persecution, this will affect its theory tone. And Adorno, who was born in a Jewish family. On the other hand, during the Second World War was anti-Semitism in the Nazi Germany, invited by the Hammer in the USA after moving to New York, where he had never seen by the dense commercial atmosphere for his critical theory also made an important impact. Secondly, I want to talk about the basic contents and main features of cultural industry theory. Okay, let's look at the basics first. Frankfurt School scholar Hammer first suggested cultural industry. Next, the Frankfurt School scholar, also in the works of art in the age of mechanical reproduction of cultural industry, made a statement. Well, I want to stress is that the real full expression is the concept of cultural industry in 1947. Adorno and Marx Alzheimer's co-author of Dialectic of Enlightenment. This paper discusses the characteristics of the cultural industry and pointed out the harm that cultural industry is a kind of cheating the public. And there are three basic characteristics of culture. That is, the standardization of cultural products, the commercialization of cultural products, and the production of cultural products lead to the false personality of individuals. Let's start with the standardization of the cultural industry. Adorno believes that the characteristics of cultural industry standardization are best reflected in the two medium forms of music and film. When a kind of music style and a film style shooting method can attract the audience to the greatest extent. That is to say, the audience has the highest recognition for this kind of products, and the producer of cultural products will gain the largest profits. After forming the consumption habit, the audience will identify with the cultural products of this style, and a circle will be formed between the audience and the producer of cultural products. The formation of this circle marks the formation of the inherent production mode of a cultural product. And the second characteristic is commercialized. In an era of Adorno, cultural products as goods are produced is the trade of the times. And the general merchants, in order to achieve maximal benefit, art creators in the conception of literary works had to weigh the value in the art market. Art tax creation by commercial market only cares about money. its creators in artistic pursuits and really has the artistic value of cultural products, and can only become a little all the artists and the art of the era of varieties was eliminated by the market. Cultural industry, which caters to the market and the public's scholar aesthetic taste, has reduced literary and artistic creation to the means of basking. All cultural conception seems to be for the maximization of commodity profits. Since then, art has become enslaved to commerce. Finally, the production of cultural products leads to the false personality of individual. As you can see from my presentation, Adorno described it this way in the cultural industry. Individuality is a fantasy, not just because production methods have been standardized. The individual can only be tolerated if there is universal agreement. Adorno believes that in developed capitalist countries, cultural products are flourishing and developing in a seemingly beautiful way, and consumers can freely choose to buy the cultural products they need to satisfy their own cultural consumption. In fact, all those are performances on the stage of false personality of cultural industry. Why? Because in the era of cultural industry, from the production and creation of cultural products to the production and distribution to the customer acceptance and acquisition of every link, creative personality has not been reflected. The production of cultural products is already a mechanical copy. The copy of film, the conventional plot of movie script, and the arrangement of popular music have no individual factors in their production, which can only lead to the loss of individuality of all cultural industry products. False cultural prosperity leads to the demise of recipient's personality. Okay, I'd like to take the USA in the 1920s and 1930s as an example. In the USA in the 1930s, the cultural industry developed rapidly, and radio advertising revenue accounted for 30% of the national advertising revenue. All the language that used to be the main means of communicating ideas are still replaced by sound images simulated by electrical signal. And radio and television have become new cultural categories and entered the stage of history. Culture has also entered the category of commodities, along with the trend of industrial mass production of capitalism. The production of cultural products is no longer the creation of art, but the next consumption. Adorno deeply realized the rise of mass medium as a new communication force in the USA. In the USA in the 1930s, nothing affected the way Americans viewed the world more than radio shows and Hollywood movies and so on. Well, Adorno believes that American broadcasting and television based on the emerging technology is different from traditional printing technology. The public spends a lot of energy to inspect and digest the cultural products in radio and television. Over time, they lose ability to think independently. The development of technology makes people more and more dependent on mechanical equipment and more subject to the control of technology rationality. The freedom, creation, and emotion in human nature shrink day and day, making people materialist. Finally, I'd like to summarize Adorno's industry theory. In today's capitalist and socialist countries, it has very important social significance and academic value. That's all. Thank you for your listening.